And they will.
Eleonora,
Okay,
it's
so the meeting is now officially being recorded, and so I will give an official welcome also to everyone. It looks like we have 13 participants this evening in Sicily and this afternoon in the Central Time Zone. So I see we're represented from the upper Midwest. Susan Finley has returned from her travel adventures. Welcome, Susan.
Thank you. Glad to be home.
We've been following with interest your travels.
Exactly. It was great, but it was, the food is not very good there, I have to say, and the weather is not very good either. We missed going to Italy, but it was fun. We had a great time.
Looks like you have some great pictures.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, my husband likes castles, so we went through more castles than I wanted to, but it was fun. It was great, except driving that Ring of Kerry. Never again. I said, we're going on a tour. We were crazy to even consider that. It was awful, just because it's so narrow and with the cars, and I was just, constantly worried and stressed. And my husband kept saying, relax, read something. I go, oh no, I want to see the scene. He goes, you're just complaining. I go, I know, because you're going to hit this. So it was interesting.
And then Susan, you had relatives that went to Carlentini. It sounds like Antonia was there.
Oh, I don't know. Really? Yes.
I think she was there with her husband.
Oh, okay. See, you know more than me. Thanks for sharing. Yes, you go away for a month and oh, well, that's exciting. I'll have to I'll talk to Uncle Fred and see what he has to say. Thanks for telling me.
Yeah, I'd like to see some pictures if she got any.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll have to ask Uncle Fred and see what he has to say in that. So next week I'll hopefully have an update.
Okay, perfect.
Very good. I want to officially thank Fred Giudici for making me a son of a honorary son of Sicily. And, also, I've got the official T-shirt as well.
Oh, cool.
So thank you very much, Fred.
You got it, Nick.
You know, right? That this gesture now it becomes again another picture that I will use for our post. Do you, right? As today, hi, yayo.
So also want to welcome Patty. Is it Lean or Line, Patty? Can you hear us?
Oh, she's got it on mute.
Oh, here I am. It's Lean.
Lean. Okay,
Yep,
Patty.
it's Lean. Yep. Sorry about the noise earlier. I thought I was muted.
So Patty, refresh our memory and tell us where you're calling in from today.
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah, Northwest Minnesota.
Well, welcome, Patty.
Thank you.
Last week we worked on Patty's tree a bit, and so I see a lot of returning faces: Chris Mangano, Anita Kilty, Dean Badiato, Sherry Kanger, Marianne Sofio, Mary Kay Lynch, of course, Fred and Susan we've already talked to, and of course, Eleonora Formica.
Ciao ragazzi. I want just to ask to Patricia, were you with me with OAT?
Where are we going to meet?
No, she
I
she was wondering if you were on a tour with the Overseas Adventure Travel Company.
Well, I'm on the tour, the same tour that everyone else is going on.
This year.
This year.
Okay, that's where I read your name. Okay,
Yes,
I was just trying to find in my head. Okay, I know this person. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So I'm hearing a ringing in the background
Yeah,
there.
so I'm going to mute because I am at my office.
Okay, thank you,
I'm
Patty.
going to mute me.
Okay, and I want to welcome Mary Ann Mangiamelli Webster.
Hey,
How are you doing?
good, very good.
Are you're getting ready for the tour too?
Oh my gosh, I could hardly wait.
All right. So we're well represented with tourists today. We've got Chris and Mary Ann and Patty, and who else is on that tour that I'm missing?
Jerry.
Excuse me? Oh, Sherry, of course, Sherry, the hostess with the mostest on the tour.
The hostess with the mostest. I love it.
Well, I just
Well-
sent a Zoom link. So Nick, if you happen to get somebody join that is in my name, I just sent it to Juicy Ska. Oh, Eleanor, help me. Saka.
Sacca, brava.
Saka.
Sì, you're Cecilia, 100%, bella me.
I have
Saka.
it's a block in my head. I don't know what it is. But she's a cousin of Sarita and I, and she is an author. So if she could join us, that would be great. But I don't know if she will.
That's the book that you shared. Yes.
Yeah, she just sent me something, so I just sent her something back. Hopefully she can join, but I'm not sure. That was at 2:01 that she sent something.
So I'm going to do a quick screen share here because I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about some people I found for David Randall. So let's see. All right, so Letizia Sorrentino was born on July 19th, 1911 in Omaha. But then she went back to Carlentini and she married Ignazio Russo on September 4th, 1937. I had posted that on Say di Carlentini that I'm looking for the children and grandchildren of Sebastiano Sesto and Ignazio Russo. And you know, you plant these seeds at night and then the next morning they blossom. So I got a email from this young lady here, Paola Russo, or a Facebook message. And let me see if I can find her Facebook message. And of course, David Randall now, he's excited as well. Let me open David Randall's, let's see, open in Messenger. Okay, so I sent him this image of Letizia and Ignacio, and it's Letizia's tree, and you can see she connects up with Giuseppe Salerno and Lucia Butera. And Giuseppe Salerno here is the sister. She would be first cousins with our Giuseppe Salerno and Sebastiano Salerno of Omaha. So we are finding some connections there. So that was exciting. And let's see, what else? Well, she told me that she is the granddaughter of Letizia and Ignacio, that is to say, Paola Russo. And so then when I started doing more posts, then all of the
It works.
all
Because
of the
it grows-
Sorrentinos started jumping on the bandwagon too. So
First of all, people now they know about us. Secondly, it's smarter to write in Italian in a Say di Carlentini say, otherwise they will not understand us. And third, I was thinking about the lady who is 108 years old this year, La Signora Giovannina Sesto. And she had relatives in the United States as well, went to Omaha. So I'm not surprised if maybe she could be as well part of that family tree.
And also our friend Laura Scolari also has responded and sent me Facebook messages and is pinging, sending little tags to her friend Milena Salerno. So we're having Salernos jump on the bandwagon, which is great. And so David's going to have lots of people to meet. So, okay, so what wonderful things have we learned about our families, and what wonderful things would we like to learn about our families today?
Hey, Nick, what are they going to, they don't have anything after 1900 for Carlentini birth, death, and marriage records, correct?
Well, yeah, they do. I mean, it's,
You've unlocked the other ones. That's when, like you said, the black hole. I found my nana's finally, what's interesting about those, even a generation ago, those guys lied on their ages and stuff just for insurance purposes. Because those gravestones, I know different dates until I found them, they were older than they said they were. Really interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, some of it may have been with literacy levels, or I don't know exactly why you see so many discrepancies between, especially on gravestones, that things tend to get etched in stone that aren't really true.
Oh my goodness. Hey, Nick, is there any way you can go back to David's family tree and tell us where David and this gal have the same grandparents?
Sure.
And David's actually trying to get on, I think, right now too.
Okay, good. So let me
just told him that we were talking about him. And in Sicily, when somebody's talking about you, if you hear a sound in your ears going like, you go like, hey, my hair are, oh my goodness, how do you say in English? Le mie orecchie stanno fischiando. Fred, mi friscano orecchie.
My ear is ringing.
Ringing,
ringing like a bell.
Ringing.
Fischiare. No, it's whistle.
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 Sounds like a whistle.
So my ears are whistling. So we answer, that's somebody who is talking about you.
Okay, so here is Letizia, and I haven't added Paola in, but she is the daughter of Piero. So let me just add her in. Let's see, child, female, Paola. Okay. So for her, I mean, it's the Salernos are somewhat distant, but so, okay, so Paola to Piero to Letizia to Sebastiano Sesto, and then this couple, Sebastiano Sesto and Giuseppe Salerno. So then if you take it back one more generation, then you find their common ancestors, which is Giuseppe Salerno and Lucia Butera. So let's change the view, and we'll look at Giuseppe's family tree, and we'll change it to the descendant view as opposed to the pedigree chart. Okay, so now you see Giuseppe Salerno and Lucia Butera. And
did they have so many children?
They had, a ton. But a lot of them died young. So Maria died young, Giuseppe died young, Antonino died sometime before the second Antonino was born. So he could have only been like 17 at the most when he died. Salvatore
year.
died young. Then the second Salvatore lived a little
70
longer.
years.
Yeah. So yeah, 67 years.
Mhm.
And he married Sebastiana Brogna. They have children, but most of this branch also immigrated. So I kind of ruled them out as a connector. And then
My goodness, the first little girl died at 6 years old, and then it was an hecatomb, like babies, one,
Mhm.
2, 3.
Actually,
And
they
even-
lost 2 babies before this one died. Because she died in 1834.
My goodness. And
No, they lost 3
then
babies.
3 years old.
They lost 3 babies before that one died.
Yeah. And then she died. And then the only one who survived for a while was Salvatore. And then
Salvatore.
again, Maria, she died at 3 years old.
Yep. And Giuseppe, she also died.
2 years old.
Yeah. But then we have
What-
Sebastiano who survived. But I believe
What's that? Why?
here there was kind of a dead end because she died as a single woman in 1900. I didn't pursue Rosa so much. Jim didn't have a spouse for her in his tree, so I don't know what happened to Rosa. But so then we get to Antonino, and Antonino is the father of the Salerno brothers who came to Omaha, and also the sisters that are ancestors to a lot of our group. So this couple are the parents of the Omaha group. And then we were down to our last chance, Giuseppe Salerno. So we started tracing her children. She actually had 7. So this one survived to adulthood, but we only have a death record there. So I'm not sure what was going on with that in Jim's tree, because usually he has at least an estimate of them. And then this one, 7 years old, this one, 1 year old. And this couple there may be more cousins for David off of this branch. I haven't really pursued that one as much, but then I looked at the Sorrentinos, and that's where I came up with Paula and her family.
Nick, is Paula in Sicily right now? Where is she located?
Yeah, she's in Sicily.
Is she in Carlentini?
I believe so. You want to go back to her profile? Let's see, Paola Russo. Okay, so her about says that she works at GH Catania SRL.
Is that a hotel?
SRL
Society
is like
Responsible Limited. This means SRL is a society with a limited responsibility.
it's kind of equivalent to our LLC, Limited Liability Corporation. SRL and LLC are somewhat synonymous. She lives in Carlentini. Says she's from Catania, which is interesting, but she lives in Carlentini.
It seems that the GH Catania is a ticketing sales desk, executive aviation service provider, registered office, the airport of Catania. So maybe she works in a place, they give assistance to the airplanes when they arrive as well.
Mm-hmm.
To the engine and everything.
So what
Yeah.
does this say, Eleonora?
A
Says,
friend of mine made this nice decoration for the little Victoria. I think that she's super amazing. I think that is even nicer than the original. Maybe she has a baby.
yeah, probably a child, huh?
Mhm. Let me see how we call it in Italian. Cerchietto. Cerchietto, you will call it in English headband.
Headband, yeah.
It's a headband. Silvana says hi to everybody. She cannot join us tonight because she's finishing a work. I think she's embroidering or sewing something.
Well, that's interesting. We're looking at an embroidered object here as well.
Ah, that's true. This is made with we call it the telaio in Italian. This is beautiful. She paints in the fabric.
Oh, is that fabric paint?
I think so. It seems to be.
Yeah. So anyway,
we should make a museum about our local handcraft. I think that in Carlentini there are a lot of people able to do a lot of interesting things, and that they don't have the right yeah.
oh, this is good. You can see that David Randall sent a friend request or accepted one from Paula. So we've got a connection there.
Yeah.
This is David. I jumped on.
They should have a
Hi, David.
shop window.
Listen,
Here he is.
you're my hero. I can't believe you did this. I mean, honestly, this is amazing. And I already sent her a message. She sent me a message first, and then I replied. So I have my cousin Kim. You know, she's the elder cousin, so she knows more about this stuff than I do. I've got her looking at that family tree that you sent me. But if you made a connection, I can't thank you enough.
Well, I think it's great. I always love doing these. It's very heartwarming.
Our James Bond. So Nick, definitely, which degree of cousinship they have? Can we say cousinship?
Okay, well, let's do that. Let's look at Paula.
Like me and Dean, we are 10th cousins.
Okay, so Paula's dad is Piero. And here is Paula. And let's see, I will make David Randall the home person.
David, have you taken the DNA test?
No.
Hey, what are you waiting for? I have to do it in July.
I didn't know that we were asked to do that. I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, of course.
We're all doing it.
We encourage everyone to do it. It's always interesting.
Okay, all right.
David.
I'm afraid about the results. I'm not afraid about taking the test.
What?
I bought the wrong one for Eleonora, so now I have to buy another one.
Hey, I'm your cousin. I have 1 million to pay. Now you can do it for me. Like bad surprises, you know? Just kidding.
They were just on sale, the test. I don't know if they're still on, but I think it ended yesterday. Yeah.
No, I've been looking. I accidentally went to Groupon to get the DNA test, and I bought the wrong one.
Yeah, I'll look again, Sherry. They were just 30% off. I'll look again, see if that expired already.
Okay.
I don't know why every time me and Sherry we try to buy something online, we make mistakes.
Well,
last year I
bought
my permission to come to the United States that is called the ESTA. Is the temporary permission for travelers, so that usually costs $15. So we paid $150. So I was like, why is that so expensive? And Sherry, maybe because of the COVID, all the prices they have increased, that they cheated on us. They stole us the money. So I don't know why.
You're getting closer to people that Nick, you're getting closer to people I knew now. So that's my nana at the bottom there. Sarah Ann was my grandmother.
Well,
Sorry.
it's not the closest of relatives that I've ever found for someone, but fourth cousins, well, you know, first cousins share a grandfather, second cousins share a great, third cousins share a second great, so you share a third great grandfather.
I'll take.
That's not too far back.
have a good relations with a fourth cousin of mine. We still go out. We call ourselves my cousin. Yeah, that's a good. That's a
David,
good
that's
one.
how I am with my cousins over in Carlentini. They are a third, I think. So let's see, 1, 2. We go back. Well, we're back 2 greats, but still, we keep in touch.
Okay, so you are, David, you are 7 generations away from the common ancestor, which is Giuseppe Salerno, 1806 to 1872. And she is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So she's actually closer generationally than you are to him. But she's, I think, younger than you. She was born in 74 or 78 or something like that.
Nick, who do they share on there? What's the name that they share on that last screen?
Hang on just a second. Let's see. Yeah, April 3rd, 1978 is her birthday. So let me go.
She's 10 years younger than me.
Okay, so the common ancestor is Giuseppe Salerno and his wife, Lucia Butera.
Okay.
And
I have a 49 friends with Paola in common.
oh, wow, good.
Wow.
But I have never seen her.
You know, speaking of friends in common, when we were in Carlentini, Silvana Ianello gave me a document that she had, which showed all of the descendants of one of her ancestors.
Wow.
Which I can show it to you real quick here, probably. Stop share. And then share screen and share. Okay, so Yanello.
I mean, your database is becoming more important than the CDO.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, so
I'm
this
curious.
is the document right here. It's called The Descendants of Sebastiano Scroi and Giuseppe Rio. Although there's some argument as to whether her name was Rio or Arrigo. Okay, so this is the first generation, Sebastiano Scroi and Giuseppe Rio. And if you go over here and you look for the Giorgios, here's Erica and her brother Giuliano.
Can you
And
click on
here-
it? Nick, we can't see it.
Oh, okay, I have to share that then. Stop share, share.
I have that. I've run across that Rio and Argorigo someplace. I don't know why, what that is.
Can you see the chart now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are the ancestors, Sebastiano and Giuseppe. And these are the descendants. So children, grandchildren, great, second great. And this is where Erica is right here, and her brother Giuliano. And there's Silvana and her husband Roberto. So I was working on this and tracking all of these because she has people that went to Omaha And of course, we'll have to talk about this all over again once we get her on. But so she had Christine Olson, which is correct. That was her maiden name, but she didn't have the name of these guys here. Well, their name is actually Vander Hyde. And I noticed, Eleonora, that you are friends with this guy, Matthew Vander Hyde, but he is not friends with Silvana, which I thought was really interesting. So do you have any recollection of Matthew Vander Hyde?
Let me go look for it, because as you know, I have 5,000 guests per year.
Yeah.
So I talked every day with everybody about our story. Matthew?
Yeah, Matthew. It's either Matthew or Matt. He has actually two profiles, I think. There he is, Matthew Vander Hyde. And it shows you as our mutual friend.
My goodness, how did I meet him?
And I believe that's him right there. But yeah, that's Silvana's cousin right there.
Matthew. Yeah, he's the guy on the right inside. He's the youngest and tallest, Matt.
Right.
But I don't remember how we get connected.
Oh well.
At all.
Well, you'll have to send him. You'll have to send him a message and say, "I have a friend who is your cousin."
Silvana Yanello, she is.
Yep.
Where is this guy at?
Well, I can bring up his tree. Let's see, tree search.
I did it.
Yeah.
I have a friend who is your cousin here in Sicily. Sometimes I arrive into people because they're friends of friends of friends. For example, when I led Anna Finocchiaro, I added even Andrew, her boyfriend. Or, I mean, we are so sometimes coincidence as well. When I was in Silvana's house, because there was her cousin from Omaha, and the partner of her cousin, Jim, he was a good friend of the son of the ex-mayor, Terry Ansaldo. So I sent to Terry Ansaldo a message from him, and Terry Ansaldo knew him. I mean, and then I just figured out that Terry Ansaldo is the cousin of a friend of my cousin, where I went after the meeting with Silvana to take the coffee. So in the same day, 3 people. I had no idea. I met 3 people that they were connected, and with this story of Omaha, the nest is becoming pretty interesting. So, and
yeah, when those sticks are getting intertwined.
Yeah, that day was super amazing. I wanted to visit Silvana first, and then I met Jim, and Jim told me, we cook the meatballs with Louise and all the other people in the Sons and Daughter of Italy, and we have the spaghetti sauce. Okay, let's add him. I know Terry Ansaldo. Okay, let's send a message to Terry Ansaldo. And then after that, I went to visit my 4th cousin. And while they were eating, I was like, you know what happened today? Today, I wanted to say hi and to meet a couple of Americans who came here. And we had a friend in common who is a Terry Ansaldo. And one of my cousin's friend, we were sitting all together taking the coffee, and then he said, Terry is my cousin. So I was like, come on, are you serious?
And they have the agriturismo outside of Carlentini too. That cousin does.
Yeah, there is the husband of Paola. Let me look for him.
Roccadia.
Roccadia. Okay, sì, Paola. Yeah. So very interesting connections. We're becoming really a big family. And
so speaking of big family, I want to welcome the Nebbia's back.
Ciao guys. Ciao Steve. Ciao Sheila. Welcome back.
I'll come back.
And I see Jim Beckman and Nick Gibelisco have joined us since we last took our noses out of the screen share.
Talking about you, Nick Gibelisco, I talked 3 days ago with one of my guests. She was interested into dual citizenship. So she has the email. I'm waiting for that. She will write us and then she will be dressed straight to you.
Awesome. We'll get her going.
Hoping to help her. Why not?
Nick
Yeah.
Semino, have you connected Patty Lean with anybody over there?
Not as of yet. You know, we're trying to kind of juggle all these balls at once. I got PJ Asta just sent me a pot of money and said get busy. So I have a project for him in Gibellina that I need to work on. And speaking of Nick G, he was asking me about Nick G, and I gave him the highest of recommendations. Nick G and I are working together at this point on my dual citizenship as well.
And Nick, do you use Rosalia triplet? Is that who you're using?
Are you asking Nick G?
Either one of you. Yeah.
I have not.
I've used her on 3 different occasions. That being said, she is more expensive than some of the people online, and she can't certify. So if she got into the certification business, I would use her exclusively but I know she got rejected on her attempt to get certified because of the formatting that she submitted it in.
Nick, let's talk about it, because last week I've been an officiant in a wedding, and the priest asked me to translate everything, the entire mess, everything. And he gave me, at one point he said, can you help me? I have to fill the paper for the act of wedding. So here you are, look inside and see what you see, because I need the information about the address of the church, the address where those people they live, and I don't understand English. And perchance I had in my hands all the documents from this couple from London that has been, all of them, they have been translated through a lady in Venice who is a translator. So it's very, very easy as Italian to get certified, because if I go to a judge, now I have an example of a document as it looks like, what we should write down. Me, Eleonora Formica, I promise that everything is written here. It has been translated saying just the truth. So there is a formula. Yep. Now I have it. So eventually, if I can help, why not? I mean, even for free at the beginning, making experience, plus for our friends here in our association. I mean, I will do it with pleasure. So maybe finding the right connection with the judge, I will send it to you if you want. I mean, I can show that.
If you get into that game, I mean, I'm paying upwards of $50 to $60 per document to get a certified translation. And like, I think you guys all heard me when I talked to the other guy. Right now, I have like over 100 documents that I need certified translations for a couple different 1948 cases.
We can talk about making some income for the association, because finally I was able to open an officially bank account related to the association. So I don't have to pay taxes upon it. And I said to Sherry as well, if you need some place to collect and put money that we need for our activities, we can use this one in Italy temporary. If you wanted to open another one in the United States, that will be more complicated. So I'm very transparent and open and sharing how much money there are inside and sharing all the movements. Our idea from this summer on but I'm still waiting for Salvo Palmeri to have the website done to start adding members. So it's to let everybody pay like $30 a year as a fee. That is a symbolic one. And maybe in the future, who knows, if we have enough fees per year, I want to exclude that if there are people in trouble with economical difficulties, maybe we can use some of those amount to give them a help for anything, to pay a lawyer, or I think about the kids to come over here for the cultural exchange. Maybe some amount can be used to pay their tickets. So I see the association as an organ where everybody can cooperate to help all of our projects growing. So if I have to do those translations, I will honestly say I would like to do it for free, and the people paying those $60, they will go in that big basket.
Yeah, I mean, if that's something that you were willing to volunteer,
Mm-hmm.
Essentially,
yeah, because if we can do even more. We can do a lot of things if we start to collect some money. We can organize tours. So we can, I mean, we have so many ideas, and with David as well, we are trying to develop a lot of interesting things. So let's meet,
not to change the subject, but I just wanted to recognize Dean Badiato for his new hat. And I just want to say, Dean, go Giants.
Boo, boo.
What's a giant? There is a Fred who is going like, yay! What's going on?
Yeah, no, the Giants are a baseball team based in San Francisco.
Ah,
Cuscino
I see. Cuscino mio. We are all cousins, Fred. What are you talking about?
Well, no, San Francisco's near me.
Okay.
Yeah,
I see.
my mother was born in San Francisco.
Oh.
And I worked in San Francisco for over a decade. And so my heart is in San Francisco.
I have a question for everybody here tonight. Let's do something different. I wonder, do you have one memory of your favorite grandma? I know that grandmothers said they're both favorites, but a special memory related to one of your grandmothers or both that you would like to share with us?
I got a real quick one. My grandma lived at Lake Tahoe, and we lived in Sacramento, and my grandma was the most wonderful woman in the world. I mean, when our family was going through hard times, she would come and live with us and help us out and stuff. And then on the week, she worked in Sacramento, and then on the weekends, she would go to Lake Tahoe to be with my grandpa, and she would take us up there. And so and then our family would go there, and we'd have, beach time at Lake Tahoe. But when I started doing genealogy, she started telling me a story about the family history. And she said, she started telling this story, and she says, no, wait a minute. I'm not sure I got that right. I think I'm lying to you.
I think I'm lying to you. That's what she said.
That's what she said, and I'll never forget that. That was the funniest thing.
This is a good one. Wait, I think I'm not right. I think I'm lying to you. Being honest, huh? She taught you how we are honest in our life.
That's right.
We should just stop talking.
She didn't mean to lie, but she was lying.
Okay. Somebody else?
So mine, I had a grandma that passed away when I was 3 months old, and one that just passed away on Thanksgiving this year. But so my grandma that was passed away, my grandma Gibilisco, she's 100% Irish, And my favorite story from her that I've heard, I obviously didn't experience it myself, but Mary Ann Mangiamelli, she was really close with my grandma. It was her,
Yeah.
it was her aunt. And
It's like your second mother.
yeah, so she would confide in my grandmother quite often, is the story she's told me. And she'd be sitting on their stairs and, going through a hard time, whatever, teenager years or whatever. And my grandma would tell her, do you know what your problem is? Your parents only had one child.
Yeah. I remember her telling me
It was
that.
always laser focused on Mary Ann.
Oh, no, poor girl.
Yeah. Yeah,
She was ironic.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
Oh, wait.
sounded, I didn't get to meet her too much. I have 2 pictures of me where she's in the same picture as me when I was a little baby, but all the rest has been stories from Mary Ann and my dad, my uncles, but she sounded like pretty great.
She really was. She was the best.
Jim, he shared with us in the chat. Eleonora, do you know Elisa Gibilisco now will look for her from Calabria, and then your grandmother named you Mr. I don't know, because when I answered on the phone all her questions, I would answer I don't know. This is a good. That's a good one, Jim. Mr. I don't know. We can still use it. Elisa Gibilisco. Somebody else. No, this is so funny.
Can I tell one more about the other side? Okay, so my grandfather Chimino, he married Macy in 1955. I was 1 year old at the time, so obviously he went through a period where his wife had died before I was born, but Macy's the only one I knew as a grandmother, and she was the sweetest little lady, and but she had this habit of wanting to tell you about all of her aches and pains, so first time you go over there and she'd just be telling you about all of her aches and pains. And then when she was done telling you about her aches and pains, she would change the subject by saying, so how's your love life?
How is your love life? So going straight to the point, right?
Yeah.
How is your love life? Are you familiar with the sleeper's torpedo?
It's what?
The sleeper torpedo.
No.
I mean, it's when you are doing something wrong and your grandma sees you from the very, very far. She goes, if I catch you. And then immediately after that, her hand was already in the sleeper. And then the sleeper left like a torpedo, striking you
the slipper
right
torpedo,
in the middle
yes.
of the back all the time.
Yeah.
The Sicilian grandmas, they are champions for sleeper's torpedo.
Yeah, it should be an Olympic sport.
Exactly, it should be. They will win.
My mom was good at that. I'm trying to figure out how my mom did that, but her mother never did that. So where did my mom get that from?
She took it from her grandma, because something that it goes generation after generation. And the original one is the wood one. Brand Dr. Schultz. If it's plastic, it won't work. All the grandmas, they have that stuff, and that stuff can go speed like faster than a torpedo.
Speeding bullet.
Yeah.
Is there a competition somewhere for this? Do they compete at
No,
some
but
level?
with Nick Gibilisco, we already created a sport. We will have the first first game in July, 22nd.
Comes right after bocce ball season.
Yes.
You see? Well, somebody else. This is so funny, this topic. Come on, don't be shy.
I'm trying to get Steve to tell one, but he won't tell it.
Why?
Well, then you tell it.
Tell it.
All right, I'll tell it.
No. It's a
So
bad story.
going down to my grandparents' house, normally on the weekends, it was a big gathering place at their kitchen table. And you could always be assured one of the cousins or aunts and uncles would be down there. So my grandma and grandfather, broken English like all of yours, and very hard for us to understand. But one of my cousins, Rick, who's no longer with us, and we were pretty young at the time, I'd say early teens anyhow. He looked at my grandmother and he asked her how many times they do it. Yeah. And she would laugh so hard. She just put her head down on the table and shake it. And that's one of the memories I have.
You should see the cousins when they get together and relive that story.
I mean, pretty open grandparents.
The things they said to her, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You could talk to them about anything. It was great.
Every time I left my Nana's house, and I was 20 when she passed away, and she did this with all the girls, she'd bring it to the door and she's like, no testament. Men are evil, men are bad, stay away from the testament.
Yeah,
and I
that's
think
what I tell my daughter.
in hindsight, it's probably the best advice someone ever gave me. But she was protecting all of her granddaughters.
Yeah.
While my grandma, she had the habit to sing while she was cooking, pretending that her philosophy was, if you don't sing while you're cooking, the food won't be tasty. So even if she was cooking at 5 a.m. in the morning, she was like, "Oi vita, with this volume. And then from the other room, I was, "Nana, stop it. I couldn't, this to God." And she kept singing. And she used to come in my room saying, "Hey, you have school at 8. It's 7:45." And it was 5 a.m. in the morning. And I was like, 7:45, what are you talking about? And she was like, laughing like this. So very, very, so this was her alarm clock. So sometimes when Alexa goes like with the music in the morning, and I go, "Alexa, stop." My Nana, she didn't stop. Forget it. Yeah. So do you think while you cook, it will be tastier? I'm telling you.
I got another one. This is me over here. This kid over here on this side. That's me. That's the kid on the other side is my older brother Dan, and behind me is my brother Jerry. And my great grandmother is the lady over my left shoulder, and Mom is on the right side. And I don't remember her. We called her Mimi. And I finally asked my mom, before she died, well, why are we calling her Mimi? It's like Nana, you know what I mean, for grandma. And she said, well, I called her Nana, but one of you kids couldn't say Nana, so it ended up Mimi. And
Mimi.
And we still refer to her as Mimi to this day. But then my grandmother, I would get farmed out when I was about that age, in the picture there, and which I was like about 3 or 4, I think. And she knew what all of her kids, grandkids' favorite foods were. And she would religiously make it. And I kind of liked fried chicken. And so she would fry up a chicken, and Grandpa and her would have one piece. And she said, you got to finish this chicken because we're not going to eat it. And so I ended up, eating a lot of fried chicken when I saw her. And then later on, Grandpa would go over across the alley and pick up the apples that fell out of the tree. And Grandma would cut them up, and she would make applesauce out of them. And you know, it had everything in it, all the protein from the worms that were in the apples and all the rest of that stuff. So, you know, so, you know, I remember those things there. Those really, I remember really good. And the cookies. She had a cookie jar that is in my kitchen to this day. An old, like an Aunt Jemima.
Paradise jar.
It's an old, you know, it's a lady cookie jar. Yeah, exactly. And she had cookies in there, but she always said, hey, you take those cookies and you get out of this house with those cookies. I don't want any crumbs in here. So, so
this is a smart solution, so you don't have to clean again.
That's right. That's right. You know, and when I was over there late, you know, I would stay overnight occasionally over there too. And if it was a Monday night, we had All-Star Wrestling, which I think a lot of the older folks remember All-Star Wrestling on TV at Monday night. And we would stay up and watch All-Star Wrestling. And I was like 4, 5, 6 years old, you know, watching all of this stuff. But my grandmother is quite the character. She really loved all of her grandkids. My grandfather, you know, loved all the grandkids.
Family first.
I did. What's that?
Family first, always.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Some people even moved to Texas to be with their grandchildren.
I can't move from Omaha because of my children coming. Otherwise, I'd be in Florida.
Yeah.
With you, Susan. Susan, what part are you in?
Captiva.
Oh, nice.
And in Fort Myers. And it's not too far from there.
Oh.
I would be there also, but my grandkids, 2 months is my limit to go down there over the winter because I want to come back and see my grandkids.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're on Captiva Island then? Is that where you're?
Yes, on the South Seas, the resort, that's where our property is. So.
Do you rent it out then?
Yes, we have 3 condos.
Okay, I'll be in touch with you later.
Okay, well, we'll see. It's been sold in that, and they're, you know, changing all the rules in that, but, you know, let me know if you're interested in.
December.
December. That's when we go down. And that's where my kids. Well, you know, just PM me and we can work out something.
Okay.
So Susan, speaking of rentals, Silvana told us that some of your family had rented her place in Carlentini.
I don't know, because Mary Kay was just telling me that they were there. I didn't know because I haven't talked with my uncle for some time in that, but I said I'll have to call him this week and get the details, because I don't know why they're not staying with the family home in that where my grandfather was born. Supposedly the house has never been sold, and when I went there, that's where I stayed. So that's very interesting. I'll have to find out what's going on.
Oh, okay. So you guys talked about that while I was going down.
Right. Yes.
Hey, Nick, we had some kind of interesting, as you know, I've had to set down all the genealogy for several months here. And I have a few more weeks before I can really dig back in. And thanks, Nick Jabalisco, for bringing up the citizenship conversation, because I'm in trouble with Steve because I haven't finished. So hopefully I'll remember everything you told me when I pick it back up. But Steve has one living aunt here in Omaha, and Fred, it's Chris's mother, Dee Straight, who they said to tell you hi, by the way. We have seen them lately.
Thank you.
And anyway, she, her daughter had submitted her DNA, but it was on 23andMe, not on Ancestry. So Steve and I can't see all the same matches because they're not there. But this weekend, a lady from Toronto had reached out to one of her children because she had found a match with Dee. And so, of course, they went to his cousin Tina has access to the trees I built of the Nebbias. And she reached out and said, "Hey, Sheila, can you help me figure this out?" And so at a quick glance, I did some precursory work, and it appears we found another one of her either second or third cousins here in Toronto. So, and one of the keys was, as you said, all of them, a lot of those seem to go back to Vinky Aturo. And the grandmother that is potentially shared, I think, is also a Vendetti relation.
Yeah.
I think it's where the
Yeah, it
Vendettis tie
is.
back.
That's where the Vendettis are from. And then I've got DNA matches with a lot of them.
Wow. I can, I'm trying to think what the, it was through the Pastilli side, I think. And Sherry, because aren't you the
Yeah.
Pastilli?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah, so I'll get you, I'm just trying to iron this out. And of course, I haven't built out that far because I really needed to get into the, I have a few Antonati records, but I haven't dug to all the related children yet, just because it takes so much time. So I may be reaching out to you, but it looks like one little question opens up another bunch of connections here.
Boy, it sure does.
Not in Sicily, but in Italy.
No, yeah, that's true. And I'd like to know too how that whole connection started, you know, how they started coming over, because it seems like those two villages that are so near each other, and especially the one where my great grandmother is from, the population is almost nothing right now.
Yeah, that's what she was saying. Because they're fairly recent coming over. I think her father was born in Italy. So she was fairly a lot more recent than what Steve's relatives were.
And my grandmother came over in the late, in the 20s, I think. And I knew her. I mean, she passed away 6 weeks before I was married. So, and that's where she was from, was that little village.
I think this lady was that was married to the Vendetti, I think was married to a D'Aquila. Did you have any of those in your family tree?
Not that I'm aware of. And mine doesn't branch out as much as it branches up. So I just know my connections. But if I could look at how they branch out, that might solve a lot of puzzles.
I'll get with you sometime when I get a little more laid out. But she actually, her name was D'Aquila, and it was actually a Vendetti that married a D'Aquila. So
okay,
and then they had a child, and that child married a Pastillo.
Got it.
So Eleonora, I wanted to mention that when we were at Pipo Sortino's house in Carlentini, he brought out some pictures that were kind of interesting, and it's Fred, it's kind of in your backyard. There's some Sortinos that are out there in Santa Clara County.
What was their names?
Here,
I think I sent them to you even months and months ago, because
yeah,
when I met people for the first time, we talked about those pictures during a Zoom meeting, if someone was able to recognize somebody.
Yeah, we definitely had talked about them before, and for some reason I set it aside and didn't really pursue it any further.
I mean,
and
there's so many.
But then I, you know, once we had dinner with Pipo, it was like he brought the pictures out again, and he still was wondering about these pictures, and it's all centered around this gentleman here, Domenico Sortino, who Domenico Sortino's brother is Pipo's grandfather. And so I'll show you the pictures. I have them here in a gallery. I'll sort them by title. And so a lot of them were taken in the same house, in front of this same fireplace, around the same time. And
Oh, the tinsel.
So I put Domenico Sortino because he was the one that sent the pictures to Pippo's father or grandfather, I'm not sure.
Nick, why did you think about Pippo Sortino's pictures?
Well, because
remind me the link now.
Well, I took the information that was on the back of the pictures, and I traced these people, like Marianne Lucente here. She was the wife of this Sebastiano Sortino.
I knew him.
Oh, did you really?
I knew Yano and his brother Tony. Tony was our insurance guy. We knew them really well. We hooked up with them because when we moved to California, John Sortino, he used to have Sortino's Pizza out there on 60th and L, said, my cousin Yano and Tony are out there. Get a hold of them. And then, yep, there he is.
Yeah, so there's Tony.
Oh, he was a sweetheart of a guy.
And he has 4 kids.
Yeah, I know.
So I don't know, a month ago, maybe.
Tony, Mike, and Ronald, all boys.
I found Tony's. Now this is a girl, actually.
Right.
But I found Tony's phone number, and so I called her and left her a message and told her that she's related to a famous author of Carlentini. And so she molded around, I guess, for a while and finally decided that she would call me back. So yesterday she called me back.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So
Nick Gibalisco said that Pippo Sortino is related to us, but I don't know how.
are you related to the Sortino's Pizza people?
I don't know. I didn't really know many from
Because
that side of
Tony
the
told me that they are also related to the people who have Sortino's Pizza in Omaha.
Right. That's how we know Yano and Tony, because Johnny told us when we were leaving. We used to go there all the time, go see my cousins, and then we started our insurance through Tony right there. Good guy. He was high school baseball coach at Bellarmine, and
I would say so. Fred, do you mind if I will give your contact to people, because this is not very social, let's say. It doesn't use Zoom, for example, but he uses Facebook.
Anybody's welcome to call me, or however you guys like. I'm not a private phone number guy.
Plus he's the sweetest person in the world. I really hope to help him to transform his book into a TV series or a movie before it will be too late. But
so Fred, this is your friend Tony Sortino when he was in Germany.
Yeah.
He was in the military, and so this is
beautiful cars.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find the one that has the backside of the Germany picture. Here it is. So yeah, Domenico had written on the backside, and it says, "Questo è tuo familia." This is your family. Tuo nipote, your nephew, Antonino Sortino. I'm not sure what this word is. Ritratto?
Yeah.
Portrait.
Portrait, okay.
Portrait made in Germany.
Made in Germany, portrait made in Germany. So that I just thought that was kind of cool to be able to put the pieces of this little heirloom story together.
I'll try to run his 2 sons down, Mike and Ronnie. I'll see if I can run them down somehow.
Yeah. She told me that one of them's, she said she has 3 brothers, one in Arizona, one in Pasadena, and one in San Luis Obispo.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry, Pippo is connected. Can you remind me, Fred, who was the guy that you know and how this guy is related with Pippo, please? So I will write in properly.
So let me just tell you, Eleonora, that I already told people about Tony, the daughter of this Anthony is named Tony. So I told people about her, and their relationship is second cousins. So they share a great grandparent.
So the daughter, Tony, is it a name of a female?
Yes, Antoinette, known as Tony.
Ah, Tony.
And so all of these brothers that Fred knows are all second cousins to Pippo.
Hey, Nick, can you pull up that Domenico again?
Sure.
So his parents are Sebastiano Sortino and Gaetano Meliti.
That's right.
So I'm working with Mike Sortino, and those are his great grandparents.
Oh, okay.
So you're working with Mike out here then?
He lives here too. He lives in Mexico. He lives a lot of places, I think.
He lives in Omaha, you're saying?
I think he's all over the place. I think he's got places. I know he has a place down by the pedestrian bridge over here. He's in Mexico right now. I'm not exactly sure where he actually.
Actually, that's a different Mike. It's probably their same relative. It's just a different Mike. These guys are native Californians and they've never lived in Omaha.
Oh, okay. So yeah, he was born in Omaha in 1960.
Yeah.
And he's married to Anna.
Do you know which of these he comes off of? Which line? Is it the Giuseppe or the? No, it must be the Antonino line.
So Sebastiano Sortino, born in 1854, and Gaetano Meliti. I guess it could be two different ones. You got some. The Gaetano Meliti I have was born in. Let me see here. This thing. So I just have about 1861, but his grandparent was Salvatore Sortino and Concetta Fela.
Okay, so I may have a child missing here then.
So yes, Salvatore Sortino, born November 1886.
(1886)
In Carlentini. Died 5th December 1978. In Omaha.
1978?
Yep.
So did they have like a dozen kids? Salvatore and Concetta?
Salvatore and Concetta had 3 kids that I am aware of. One of them is Johnny Sortino from the restaurant, but his actual name is Biagio. If anyone is interested, that was his real name, was Biagio.
Really?
Yeah, we pulled his we couldn't find a birth certificate under Johnny, but we knew his birth date and we knew his parents, so we looked under that, and his given name is Biagio.
You know how many? You know what's really interesting about the old neighborhood, Nick? I've heard that about 100 times.
Biagio?
No, how people change their names, their Italian names, anglicize their names from their birth certificate.
Yeah, I mean,
my aunts did. I mean, even I was asking the Semino sisters, Nick, you're not related to them, but they were from 10th and Pierce, and their name was Betty and Phyllis. I said, "Though your parents' name you weren't great. Get out of here." And I told them this 2 years ago or 3 years ago when I was in Omaha. They go, "No, our real name is Lucia and Giovanna."
Right.
But they wanted, when they went to school to think and train, they had him, the big sister said, "You're Betty and you're Phyllis," and that was it. And then,
Yeah, so it was a big issue for Mike's case because his dad was Luciano, and after birth, that was his birth certificate name. After birth, every other document he's listed on is Louis. So then the lawyer in Italy wants a one in the same order from our judge here that says Luciano, born yada, 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 Omaha, Nebraska, is in fact the same person as Louis. And I believe Mr. Nick Cimino is going to be in that same boat with your grandfather's name.
I see.
Nick, I got like a whole boatload of stuff for Salvatore.
Okay. Yeah, this
That's why I
shows
asked
that
if he had. That's why I asked if he had, a dozen kids.
Yeah, because this one shows at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 kids.
Hi,
And I haven't
David.
got, I know the Mike Sortino
Hi,
I'm
thank you
working
for
off
being
of.
with us.
Somebody leaving us?
Yeah,
Gotta go.
David.
I gotta jump on a call. I'm sorry. Thank you so much for all your hard work on this. I really appreciate
Sure,
it.
no problem, David.
Grazie, Dave.
Bye,
have
everyone.
a great trip.
Yeah, let
Thank
us
you.
let us know if you
You
get any
soon.
information out of Ms. Russo.
I will, absolutely. Thanks, you
Eleanor, bring them for brioche and granita.
guys. That's the deal.
By mail. Well, people says thank you. I will get in touch with them. I will contact Fred. Say hi to Nick.
Yeah, he so I requested Salvatore Sortino and Conchetta Fela's birth certificates from Lucy, and she apparently knew that these two were related to Pippo, so she forwarded on my request to Pippo, and then Pippo got in touch with me and said, "Hey, you're requesting people I'm related to. Who are you requesting this for?" So I told him it was for this Mike Sortino. But then I told him that my great grandmother's name was Rosa Sortino. And I know we tie into this Sortino family somehow. I just don't know how I tie into it yet.
Well, we need to work on that because that's a good clan to be a part of, it looks like.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe we'll get some free pizza out of the deal.
I don't know who runs that. I think there's one daughter left. Diane.
There's a daughter. Yes, she's in her. She was born in the 60s.
Yeah, that's Diane.
Okay.
Sherry, excuse me, Sherry. Diane died. They lost Tommy, and then Sherry and Diane were the two daughters. But see, those girls were Nancy's daughters and son from a previous marriage, and Johnny
never had any kids.
He never had kids.
Oh.
Those kids were his step kids, but they were, in all intents purposes, they were his kids.
Right. Nancy is actually a Gibalisco. Her name's Nancy Gibalisco.
Absolutely, she was best friends with my Aunt Mary.
Yeah.
My aunt was in. They lived on Hickory Street.
I don't know. We have yet to make the connection on. I know Nancy's side of the tree, and we've been back to like 1810 on both trees, and we haven't connected Nancy's family and my family.
Well, go see Diane in there, and that's your only. She's the only one left of that group.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'd like to.
So Nebius, before you go, Nebius, I just want to say thanks for coming back. I am very interested in trying to make a connection with any living people in Vinciaturo. They don't necessarily have to be related. So if you have made any kind of contacts in Vinciaturo, I would really like to know who they are.
I can't think any off the top of my head, but we're working on it. I haven't picked it up real strong yet, but I think this Toronto connection has some living relatives over there. So I'll see what I can find out and get back to you.
Yeah, I think we need to feature some of the other towns, besides just Carlentini and Lentini, and Vinciaturo is on the top of my list.
Okay,
Nice, good to
We
hear.
like to hear that. Yeah, we hope to be back more regulars. I have a few more business things, so I can't guarantee we're here every week, but hopefully we're back a little stronger coming up here.
All right, well, good luck, closing out all that business that you have to attend to.
I tell you what, I might drink heavy when I'm done.
Well, if you're done in July, I'll drink with you.
Okay. Oh my God, if we're not, we might kill each other. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Okay.
Bye.
Mary Sofio, I have been in touch with Omaha Sister City Association to let them know that you're available.
Good.
I'm not on the committee. I'm not sure why, but Todd is.
Okay.
With the president of OSCA, Judith Schweikert, with Celan LaGreca, and Pat Fitzgerald, Cliff McAvoy, and I think someone else. So I sent them your information and bio.
Good, thanks. And when we get that rolling, I'll be a great help.
Yeah, and if they
So
don't use your information, or if they don't use you, I would like to put something together with you, maybe showing the delegates around independent from OSCA.
It'd be a good possibility. Yeah, if we have the time, be great.
Sounds great. Thanks, Mary.
Not a problem. Ready to work on it.
So, we were talking about the Howard Hotel. I don't know if it was last week or the week before, but
Mr. Toads.
yeah, Mr. Toads. People know it better as Mr. Toads. So I remembered that I had contacted the guy at the State Preservation Office, State Historic Preservation. His name is Joe Vandenberg. And so I sent him a note, would you send me the file on the Howard Hotel, Mr. Toads? But unfortunately, it's part of the Old Market District. So there's I don't know how many buildings that are part of that district. And it's just mentioned kind of briefly in that district nomination. But one of the things that was kind of cool about it was that they had actually done some city directory work where they had shown the businesses that were in the Howard Hotel at various time frames. It was, of course, the wrong time frame for us in terms of the Salernos and any other businesses that were there. But it made me think that that would be a good project to do, is to look at the city directory to see what it says about that building. Because we just keep finding people on the passenger list that went to 1004 Howard Street.
And I've got to say, I'm a little disappointed that the mural project didn't include Giuseppe Salerno in their drawings and their depiction. It was kind of discerning that some people got the story, the history mixed up about the brothers.
Well, I've been working with Terry Turco Snodgrass a bit, who is also planning a trip, but not until September. But she did some Facebook postings on the new Little Italy group.
Yeah.
And Al Vacanti jumped in there and said, well, one of her relatives was also married to a Salerno. His name was Louis Salerno, and he was known as Mr. Boxing. And so I found a newspaper article of this Louis Salerno. I think I still have it up on the screen. Let me see. Yeah, hang on just a second. Share. So there he is, Mr. Boxing, Louis Salerno, and they called it the House of Salerno. This is the Omaha World Herald, March 5th, 1931, which March 5th is my dad's birthday, by the way. House of Salerno ready to shove Milio fourth. And then the caption, you really have to zoom in for this. Says, here is Milio Meliti, Chief Fistic Holding. Fistic, like fists.
Mhm.
Okay.
Interesting.
Of the House of Salerno and Mr. Louis Salerno. And Louis Salerno is actually one of the sons of Giuseppe that you were just talking about, Sherry, who represents the house in Milio's corner during engagements. Mr. Lewis will second Milio Friday night at the auditorium when he collides with Mr. Chuck Patterson, an uncouth and untutored but very rough young man. Mr. Tony Salerno is often prominent in the fistic deals involving Mr. Meliti, but Mr. Tony refused to pose in the above picture. I jinx everything, including myself, said Mr. Tony, and no one argued.
Great.
But I found also an obit for this Tony Salerno, and he was married to an incontro, and the incontro was married to the incontro's sister was married to a Turco. So we got Mary Kay in on the action here too.
Very nice.
Hey, Nick, do you have your Jibilisco? Do you have that Jibilisco tree with Nancy's side on it?
Yeah, Gary actually manages it. Gary Jibilisco.
Because on my mom's side, they were cousins with her.
Oh, really? Yeah.
My great grandma was a Jibilisco too.
Wait a
You're
minute.
who?
Yeah.
So am I related to you, Fred?
I don't know. Maybe. Both good looking, so I guess that probably makes sense. Right, Nick?
I'd say the scales are tilted one way versus the other.
That could be.
I'm down here, Sherry's up there.
Oh, you guys are funny. I have to get going, so I'm gonna let you all go. It was so nice to see everyone, and you all take care. I just wrote a little note, but I'll be in touch with you guys to let you know what the schedule is once I find out more. Eleanor and I put together a schedule last year and
We
modified
need a
it.
secretary.
Yeah, we are the secretary. We are all the hats. And so we put it together again, kind of modified things, sent it off to Todd and Celia and LaGreca, waiting to hear back from them. And that's all I know so far.
Well, thank you, Sherry.
Awesome, Sherry.
We're looking forward to all of the festivities.
You bet. You guys take care.
Have a good one.
Now
Chat
at
then.
the jingle.
Bye-bye.
We are family. Come on, everybody with me.
Bye, sister.
You're
Bye,
gonna have to
sister,
do
from
the
another
Italian
mother.
version of that, Eleanor. You have to translate that song.
Siamo una famiglia. Venite tutti quanti con me. Yeah, yeah.
There you
Si può
go.
fare.
All right.
We can do it.
Hey, Eleanor, you know the group Beans? You conosce Beans?
Beans, il gruppo musicale?
Yeah,
No,
Tanya. That's my cousin's husband.
really. Beans, like
They named- they
green
named-
beans.
They looked in the dictionary, Nick, and just found a word and they put, oh, beans. They're all Sicilians from Catania.
So we'll call him Fagioli.
Yeah, how about that?
If I
That's
put a
English.
bean, Kurt Cobain, no?
No, B-E-B-A-I-N-S.
Beans,
Fagioli.
and that's it. Yeah, but I have Kurt Cobain here coming
Oh.
out. Beans.
What's that?
And then I have another one, beans, this.
That's it.
That should be it. Look,
dei ragazzi di Catania. Ecco,
Yep, the ragazzi di Catania.
yeah, there they are. Tony Ronald. Yeah, I know. That's them. That's not
No
him.
way.
He's
In
the
the
drum.
78.
Yeah, they're all old dudes now. But yeah, he was the drummer.
I will listen to them.
Yeah, they're
Thank
cool.
you. Do we have a movie director perchance in the family?
My brother. My father,
So I have a book to be transformed into a little movie before it's too late.
Well, I have a movie director in my family. His name is Michael Cimino. But he hasn't been answering my calls for the last 30 years.
That's why we're looking for new people in our families, right? I told everybody because all the relatives that we already know, they all suck. Just kidding. That's why we keep looking for. Well, I would like to help Pippo Sortino one day, call him and tell him, look, I found the right one who wants to do this movie. Who knows? Maybe we should apply for a grant. If you're familiar with those topics, I have never ever done something like this, but I will really love to help him. Nick, have you finished his book? I have very hard time to read in English in this moment of my life.
Oh, yeah, I loved his book. It's kind of long, but you know, once you get down towards the end, you want to know what happened. And
do you think that it could be a nice movie?
Oh, I think so. I mean, there's enough for like a mini series here with 500 some odd pages.
So we should
581, 582 pages. So
Nick, what's the book called?
Hey guys, I'm sorry, I have to go.
Bye,
Oh,
Eleanor.
okay. Oh, okay, got it.
so another time, another place.
Okay.
Making a movie producers and directors, Michael Carlentini coming back to Omaha.
What'd you say, Dean?
Is Michael Cavallari coming back to Omaha?
My wife saw a Facebook post where he said he was, but I don't know if he's playing any kind of an official role this time, or whether he just loves us that much where he would come back just for the fun of it. But yeah, he said something about being there.
There's your movie director right there.
Well, I know they've gone down that road with him, but I don't think they've gotten very far.
Hey, Dean, how was your trip out here?
Great, loved it. The best thing about it was the ferry ride from Sausalito to San Francisco Bay. That was awesome.
That is awesome. Yeah, I agree.
My brother works in Sausalito.
Love that place.
I was just out in Fremont and Dublin and Pleasanton and Oakland.
Should have called me.
I was out there for work.
It's all right. I hooked you up.
We did a quick 3-day trip.
Dean called me. We just couldn't get together. But did you enjoy the game, Dean?
The only bad thing was I missed the first inning because I had my ticket from
Oh yeah, I saw.
couldn't process it. So I had to walk 3 blocks to get a paper ticket. This has gotten to begin with.
I
It
love
was
that
hot.
ballpark.
I love it too. Our
I knew
Warriors
you were still here.
Uh-oh.
You're back.
Yeah, fake news.
The news of your departure was premature.
Yeah. How many are we now? It's just
Dean, are you
us.
planning to are you planning to bring your books to the genealogy booth?
Me?
No,
Whose books?
Dean had said on Facebook that you'd bring some of your records to the genealogy booth.
I could do that. I was thinking I'd be available Sunday more than that. As long as, they could bring it up, have it open on Sunday, I would be there.
You want to do it on Sunday as well? Is that what you said, Dean? Well, I mean, it sounds like the room would be big enough where
Oh,
we could
Anita.
have multiple tables. And you could have your own table.
Dino, you should transform all of those folders into nice volumes that can be consulted inside the library or something, or maybe one day when we will make, if we will be able to contact Warren Buffett before he goes to a better life, when we will have our museum of Italian American roots. It will be a room dedicated to the genealogical researches. And tonight, Bob is not with us, Bob Hughes, but he made an excellent research as well about the pictures of the wedding. I mean, it would be nice to have those things all together.
Mm-hmm.
In my world,
What? Cosa?
in my world, it's all going to Nick.
In his will, he has named me as the heir for these books.
No, come on, don't talk about
I live
that.
longer
It's too
than
early.
You know, there's a plan for a new library. Maybe you could get a room in the library and name it for Italian geological research.
There we go.
That would be great.
There's that new plan on 72nd Street for a new library.
$100 million.
Yeah.
Second and what? Where the Crossroads was?
Yeah.
Yes.
We can have a shelf dedicated to Carlentini.
Right.
Oh,
At
go
least
for
a
a whole
shelf.
room.
One
Yeah,
from
let's go for a
IKEA.
room. We need the
Go for a
Carlentini
room.
room.
Hey, Mary Kay, are they talking about the cafeteria at Cabrini downstairs?
Yeah, the social hall.
Yeah, that's big enough.
Oh yeah, that's.
I'm starting before I'll be there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can get 50 people probably down there easily.
Oh, no doubt. That's where they have the spaghetti.
I got that.
You coming, Fred?
I'm coming.
All right.
I'm coming.
Good.
I've made that point that I'm coming.
That'll be good. We'll get a lot of people
Yeah,
this
it'll-
year. Should be really fun.
You bet my wife and I are coming. It's going to be good.
So I have a big banner that says Italian genealogy. And I was going to bring that and put like, the garage sale signs with the arrows.
Gonna be
pointing
99
inside.
feet for 33, right?
Nick, have you looked into like Wi-Fi, or are you just planning to use your like hotspot or?
I haven't really, I didn't even ask about that. Do you know, Mary Kay, if they have Wi-Fi in social hall?
I would think they would if they would let you tap into the school.
Mm-hmm.
Guys,
That would be
I wonder-
good. That would be good if we could look into that and see. I mean, I could definitely just use my cell phone as a hotspot, but
And I
assuming
can
there's
too.
signal down there, I don't know if there's signal.
True.
Yeah, we should test that out before we to get that done.
To get that done.
Yeah.
Are you,
Get
is
that
anybody down there on a
done,
regular
please.
basis? Does anybody go to that church?
Mm-mm.
I mean, I can, but the social hall probably isn't open.
We need to clarify what the opening hours will be too, because Todd had said that they would open it only during certain hours, but he didn't say what those hours would be. So I'll have to send him a note or talk to him again as time gets closer.
Yeah.
I'm
And I
sure
plan to
he's
be down
very
there.
busy.
And I'll bring my laptop and we can tie in to that as well, because I don't know how many people we're gonna have.
Yeah, if there's do you know is there a projection screen in the room?
No.
I
I'll
would
try to
think you'd
send you
have-
a picture of it, Nick. I have one from my daughter's baptism at some point.
Oh, okay, cool.
You'd almost have to bring all your own AV stuff probably, Nick.
Mhm.
You have a little portable projector, Nick, or no?
I have a projector, which I can bring the projector. I actually have two, but
You need a big white sheet.
yeah, you
Yeah.
just need a wall. If
Cheapskate.
the walls are light colored, it's usually sufficient.
I have a screen, I think, because I have my father-in-law's projector. I'll double check on that, because I could easily,
Oh, okay, cool.
let me write that down.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I have the database in Roots Magic now, so I could display it that way if we don't have Wi-Fi.
Hey, Marianne, where did you go to elementary school?
Duchenne,
You didn't go to Lincoln or train school?
my sister went to Lincoln School and then St. Rose
I got you.
on 13th Street. But
Right.
I came along later and I went to elementary at Duchenne.
Gotcha. Marianne, where'd you go to elementary?
I went, we were in California most of the time. And so I went out there
Where'd you live out here?
in LA. I went to Bret Hart Junior High School and 75th Street Elementary School. Can't even find them anymore.
Probably
You went to
not.
Central High School though, right?
I went to Central High. We came back. We only lived in California for 5 years. And,
What part of Los Angeles, man?
I'm not really sure. I was so young.
Mhm,
I think it was just the main part of LA, wherever that is.
mhm.
Wherever Bret Hart Junior High School is in that area.
Oh, Bret Hart Junior High School was in LA?
Yeah.
Okay, I can look that up. I'm curious because my daughter lives there, and
Oh,
occasionally I like to wander around,
Susie.
check out various places.
I went to Castellar here in Omaha. Grade school.
That's on 16th and Castellar. What street
Yeah.
is that on?
Yeah.
So yeah, one of the things at some point I want to just go to San Pedro, where that was where one of the Salerno brothers was shot.
Oh,
Is that there near the beach?
I have no idea about this news.
Yeah, well, there were the two, Giuseppe and Sebastiano. And Sebastiano, there was some dealings with the bank, and
Well,
his
at that
bank-
time they used to fight a lot, and then a lot of dynamics that now we cannot understand.
Mhm.
And this was the only way they knew to stop the fight sometimes.
Well,
yeah.
this one individual lost his life savings in the bank when it went bankrupt. And so then Sebastiano, he left Omaha, went to California. Well, this guy tracked him down and shot him.
Wow. Nick, have you ever looked into Gary Gibilisco's grandpa and his dealings with the bank, Favera? His name was.
No.
So he ran that. He got sent away for a while, because everyone came calling during the crash, and he didn't have the money. No one did at that point in time, but he has a lot of articles written about him regarding the bank and being sent away. I'll get you his name real quick.
Nick, do you use more Nicolas Gibilisco on Facebook? Or WhatsApp? What do you prefer to write you?
The Nicholas one. I don't have access to the Nick Gibilisco anymore.
Okay, Nicholas.
Yeah. So his name was Frank Favera, Favara.
Mm-hmm.
and he has there's a whole bunch of articles written about him and him going to jail when Gary's mother was born in 1927 and whatnot. But it's a fascinating story.
Yeah, I'm putting his name into genealogy bank, see what comes up. I know that Gary has a Salerno great grandmother, I think.
Yeah, it's his wife. This is his. So Giuseppe and Sebastiano's sister is Gaetana Tilly Adeline Salerno. She had 3 first names that she went by. But it's Giuseppe and Sebastiano's sister. But
so I'm not coming up with. How did you spell it? F-A-V.
A-R-A.
Oh, A-R-A.
Yeah, Favara. Okay. Favara.
It always helps when you spell things correctly. But, oh yeah. So Favara, again, accused. There's a whole bunch of stuff here.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. But yeah, he's married to Giuseppe and Sebastiano's sister, who I think you have her in the tree as Adeline. Yeah, he had to go on the lam when Gary's mom was born. So she was alone and the cops came calling at her place, and it's pretty interesting.
Frank Favara's private bank. He had 300 families that had deposited. Wow.
Yeah, I can't remember I don't know if it's the same bank as Giuseppe and Sebastiano's or if it's a different one or.
He was free on parole by 1930, it looks like.
While you're looking for those things, I just found the judge here in Ragusa, Nick, just in case. And for the future, they're not for free to be authenticated. Can I say like this in English?
Authenticated.
Authenticated. The cost is 16 euros every 4 pages, plus 2 euros every attachment we add. So actually, they're not totally for free. So you were right.
Right.
Okay, so it depends on how long they are, but the judge, they charge something as well.
No kidding.
That's a separate regarding the translator. If they are translators, they have to pay even an amount to the judge as well, in Italy at least. I didn't know. I had a discovery.
Yeah, I did not. I thought they just added the translator added their seal and that was it.
Yeah, maybe they make a total forfeit, let's say, including even those expenses that they have to be paid to the Italian government, basically.
Interesting.
Are like little stamps.
Yeah.
Each 4 pages, and every stamp costs 16 euros, so almost $20. So actually, we have to figure it out.
Right. So at his bankruptcy hearing, Favari said he was $72,000 in debt. That's a lot of money for 1930.
Yeah, right.
That deserves a name, kid.
His daughter Lucille is still living.
Yeah, she's still alive.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because it mentions her here. The girl was named Lucia after the patron saint.
Yeah, she's still living.
Huh.
Oh.
That's amazing.
And she's still, she can tell you every story she's ever been told ever, still to this day.
Has anybody recorded any of that or videoed or written it down?
I've been in contact with one of her or a few of her great nephews and said, she's a treasure. You need to start recording. But we'll see.
How old is she, Nick?
She's born in 27, so she's 95.
Yeah.
Well, the string is getting thinner, so it's got to be done sooner than later.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's sad to say, but you know.
The only time I see her now is at a family's funeral because she married a Jabalisco, so we're related that way.
He married Gary's dad.
Yeah.
Gary Jabalisco's dad.
You just don't want to see her at her funeral, so you want to catch her before that
Right.
one, you know.
Right.
Okay, people. Ciao,
Nick,
tutti. Time to
Nick.
go.
Eleanor, real quick, did you see we made a Zasa the other night? Who's had that here? Pasta casassa.
Silvana, she said the right pronunciation is pasta casassa. What
Pasta
do you
casassa.
pronounce a pasta with the B?
Antica basta.
Pasta.
Pasta
B, but we
casassa.
pronounce it with a B.
Antica B. B.
A
Antica
pasta
B.
casassa. I had a
Basta
discovery.
casassa.
Basta
Yeah.
casassa.
All the P's were B's,
Yeah.
right, Marianne?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Antica. You got to remember, we're from a time warp. There's a generation between them and today. So like
This
when
is
my mom,
amazing.
yeah. So that's too bad my mom's not still alive, because you'd go nuts talking to her. Because everybody kept thinking when we were there, well, when did you leave? You know, when did you move to America? She never, because we're from here. But anyway, but it's so old. You know what I'm saying? The words and the trilling of the R's, and
Yeah.
but that's how the whole neighborhood talked back then.
Right.
So anyway, that Zasa is good. That Zasa is good, Eleanor. So you take tomatoes and you put an X on the bottom, cut X's, and you put them in, boil them for a minute. Then you throw them in ice, and then you peel it, and you scacciati, and you get all the zemens out. And then while that's going on, you have your olive oil, garlic, and onion going, and then you throw it in.
Do you smash the garlic?
Yeah. Scacciati, and then you put bulli as you go in as
A fine, fantastico.
Yeah.
E poi, mua.
Oh yeah, ciù meglio. Pasta casassa. That you talk about, stories growing up as a kid. Well, that's my nonna made that as good as that, and then my mom did a great
And
job.
then there is even a Sicilian philosophy about this dish. Non potremmo mangiare sempre pasta casassa. So means if you eat all the time pasta casassa, you will get bored. So it became a metaphor to say, and always the same thing, and always the same thing. So while you're talking, you're gonna go like, okay, tomorrow I have to go to the bank, have to pay this, I have to pay that. A solida pasta casassa. The regular pasta casassa, the same thing again. Yeah.
So that was the staple food that you would eat on a regular basis then, or?
Nick, that's just a quick
But the synonym of a repeating a routine that at one point get bored. So, and then when you come, sempre pasta casassa, always pasta casassa, you cannot eat as you have to change sometimes.
Invece di pasta con sugo, pasta
and being no, there is a baby around, I can see. Okay, I will tell you next time. Ciao.
All right, thank you. Thanks, Nick.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Hey, ciao.
Ciao.
See you next week.
Bye.
Yeah.
La prossima settimana.
Alla prossima.